at the
Good cause or
subpoena.
probable cause?
Probable cause.
Okay. Probable cause, or if it's a subpoena duces tecum, good cause, to show what?
You would need good cause for a subpoena duces tecum, and what you would have to show is that you believed a crime had been committed, or there was a possibility of a crime, or that could lead to other crimes. We
By the
frequently, in criminal enterprises, subpoena cell
By the
phones.
sitting United States Senator?
Senator, they would have to have believed you were part of a criminal conspiracy, is my understanding.
Would a judge have to sign off on it? On the subpoena?
Yes, Senator. Well, for a subpoena duces tecum, Jack Smith probably took it straight to the judge.
Now, the phone companies, particularly their general counsel, if they're worried about civil liability, even with a subpoena to get the phone records of a sitting United States Senator. Did I mention it was a sitting United States Senator?
Yes, Senator.
The general counsel for that phone company, let's say AT&T, they have the right to seek to quash that subpoena, don't they?
Phone companies frequently do that.
Yeah. And a smart general counsel for that phone company is going to call the sitting United States Senator and say, would you like to weigh in on this? Would you like me to quash the subpoena? We're talking about invading someone's privacy here by a sitting United States Senator. Could the general counsel for the phone company do that?
Well, Senator, if they believe that a crime could have been committed, they could not tip off the person who committed the crime. Again, I can't comment on details of this particular case.
I'm just asking you theoretically.
I've never seen you commit a crime, Senator Kennedy.
But let's suppose, okay, they didn't want to tip off the sitting United States Senator. But the phone company and the general counsel for the phone company, or companies, if there were more than one involved, could say, you know, this is serious as an aneurysm. This is serious as 4 heart attacks and a stroke. This is a sitting United States Senator. So general counsel would likely advise the CEO, well, you need to file a motion to quash. The telephone companies could have contested those subpoenas, could they not?
Hypothetically, yes. I can't talk about the facts of this particular case.
We're talking hypothetical.
Senator, subpoenas are issued all the time through phone companies working with the general counsel.
But they can file a motion to quash.
They could, yes.
Yeah.
In any case.
And if they should have filed a motion to quash, and a reasonable person would have filed a motion to quash, because this is a sitting United States Senator, and they didn't file a motion to quash, they would incur civil liability, wouldn't they?
Senator, typically phone companies follow a subpoena from a United States attorney.
I know they do, but they don't have to.
They could challenge it, Senator.
Yeah. And if they don't challenge it, they better have a damn good reason. Right? Right?
Senator, I can't talk about the facts of this particular
This is just
case.
a hypothetical.
In general, hypothetically, Senator, maybe they didn't recognize any of the names of the 8 sitting United States senators.
Hypothetically.
That was a joke.
Or maybe they should have gone to Amazon and buy some testicles online. Instead of just saying, sure, I'll just show you the phone records of a sitting United States Senator on the basis of an administrative subpoena. Now, do you have copies of the subpoena applications for these
Senator,
8?
Senator, I can't discuss anything regarding this.
You can't even tell me if you have copies?
I can't discuss any of this.
All right, when are you going to, General, when are you going to be able to discuss it?
I can't discuss whether there is or is not a pending investigation,
I understand,
Senator.
but
This was
let's
just
assume
brought to light
if
by
there is a
Director
pending
Patel.
investigation, I don't want this to get swept under the rug, okay? Because I think you're going to get pushback from all quarters. I think the telecommunication companies are going to be all over you like a bad rash because they've got liability here for just turning over these records when they knew what was going on. I think some FBI agents may have some liability here. I think a special counsel might have some liability here. If I were your special counsel and you had appointed me and I wanted to get the records of a sitting United States senator, is that something you would expect me to tell you as Attorney General of the United States?
They better have.
Yeah.
And
Do we know in this instance of the 8 sitting United States senators if they told Attorney General Garland?
Senator, I just learned about this very recently, as did Director Patel, and we cannot discuss the details. I don't know many of the details.
Well, maybe we ought to get Attorney General Garland here. Do you know if the special counsel told FBI Director Wray? Is that something? Let me put it another way. If I were your special counsel and you were the director of the FBI and I'm trying to get the phone records of a sitting United States senator, did I mention it was a sitting United States senator? Is that something that you would expect me to tell you as director of the FBI?
In general, I would believe the FBI would help execute the subpoenas.
Yeah.
To the businesses.
Okay, I want to switch to another subject in the 12 minutes that I have left, since everybody else got to go over. I've got to ask you about this, General. Secretary Howard Lutnick on October 1 gave an interview to the New York Post about Mr. Epstein. And he described Mr. Epstein as, quote, the greatest blackmailer ever, close quote. Have you reviewed that transcript of that interview?
I have not reviewed the transcript, but I saw the clip of it.
Okay. It appears that Secretary Lutnick was Mr. Epstein's next door neighbor. In fact, their townhomes shared a wall. And the reporter that was talking to Mr. Lutnick, she asked how other prominent men could have been associated with Epstein when Mr. Lutnick could immediately sense that he was a, quote, pervert. And then Secretary Lutnick said, or rather the reporter said, did they see it and ignore it? Do you remember that from the interview?
I do.
And Commerce Secretary Lutnick said, no, they participated. And then Commerce Secretary Lutnick goes on to say, quote, that's what his MO was. You know, get a massage, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume, was a video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever, blackmailed people. That's how he had money, end quote. Is that true?
Senator, as our July memo said, we did not uncover evidence. This case has gone through 3 administrations, as well as former U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta.
I know that, Pam, but...
Bondi responded carefully, noting the high standards involved like probable cause and the role of judges. But the senator kept pushing on whether telecom companies should have challenged the requests more aggressively. It painted a picture of potential overreach and raised eyebrows about accountability inside the justice system. That line of questioning alone sparked plenty of online debate, but Kennedy wasn't finished. He smoothly shifted gears to something even more charged, bringing up recent remarks from Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. In an interview that made waves, Lutnick described his experiences as Epstein's former next-door neighbor. Their townhomes shared a wall, and Lutnick recalled details that left many stunned. Reports claim he and his wife once got a tour of the property, including a space known for massages. According to the conversation, Lutnick suggested this setup played into bigger schemes, with hidden recordings possibly involved in pressuring influential figures. The comments stood out because they seemed to clash with earlier official statements. Lutnick reportedly called Epstein one of the most effective operators at leveraging compromising situations for gain, explaining how that approach might have funded his lifestyle and influenced outcomes in legal matters. Fans following the Epstein story for years reacted strongly, with many pointing out how these insider perspectives added fresh fuel to long-standing discussions. Kennedy asked Bondi directly if she had reviewed the full interview and whether investigators planned to follow up with Lutnick. Bondi said she had seen clips but not spoken to him yet, leaving the door open for potential conversations with the FBI if needed. This exchange highlighted a clear tension. On one side, a July memo from the Justice Department indicated limited findings on certain blackmail theories after reviews across multiple administrations. Yet here was a high-profile administration figure offering a different take based on personal proximity. Rumors have circulated for some time about unreleased materials, including possible videos and connections that could explain Epstein's reach. It's been said that powerful associates might have looked the other way or even taken part, though nothing has been definitively proven in court regarding widespread extortion. Kennedy's questions seemed designed to cut through any hesitation, urging that Lutnick be brought in for more details to clear the air. As the hearing continued, the focus on these contradictions kept building interest. Lutnick later appeared before Congress himself, where he addressed his earlier statements. According to reports from those sessions, he emphasized that he never witnessed illegal activities firsthand and described some of his podcast remarks as speculation based on what he observed as a neighbor. He maintained there was no close personal or professional relationship, and he distanced himself after feeling uncomfortable with certain invitations, including one to a private island that struck him as off. Still, the initial comments had already spread widely, sparking renewed calls for deeper examination of Epstein's network and any lingering files that haven't seen full public release. Speculation continues online about what might still be hidden in government holdings. Some voices suggest that key evidence could reveal more about how Epstein operated and who might have benefited from his arrangements. Others point to the pattern of delays and partial disclosures over the years as reasons for ongoing distrust. Kennedy's approach in the hearing tapped directly into that sentiment, reminding everyone that these aren't just old stories, but matters affecting public confidence in institutions. He made it clear he didn't want anything swept aside, especially with telecom companies potentially facing liability questions and federal agents possibly needing closer scrutiny. The senator's folksy yet sharp style made the whole exchange memorable. He circled back to the phone records issue, joking lightly about not recognizing names or needing to buy courage online, which lightened the mood for a second before driving home the seriousness. Bondi stayed measured, repeating that certain details couldn't be discussed due to ongoing sensitivities, but the pressure for transparency was unmistakable. This kind of questioning from within the same political sphere carried extra weight, showing that even allies want straight answers on Epstein-related probes. Beyond the hearing room, the broader Epstein saga keeps drawing attention because of its mix of confirmed facts and persistent unknowns. Epstein's 2019 death in custody, ruled a suicide, still prompts debates, with many wondering if all threads were fully pursued. His associations with prominent names across finance, politics, and entertainment have fueled endless theories, though official reviews have stopped short of confirming large-scale blackmail operations. Lutnick's neighbor insights brought a human element, describing how someone could spot red flags quickly while others allegedly participated or ignored them. Phrases like getting a massage repeatedly came up as a method, with the assumption that recordings captured compromising moments. These elements create a narrative that's hard to turn away from. Viewers tuning in want to know if more files will finally surface, whether key figures will be interviewed thoroughly, and what it all means for holding powerful people accountable regardless of party. Kennedy wrapped his time by suggesting Garland and others might need to return for further questions, keeping the pressure on. Bondi noted the recency of some developments and the involvement of current leadership like Director Patel. The whole session left audiences buzzing about possible next steps, from additional testimonies to renewed pushes for document releases. What stands out most is how these discussions refuse to fade. Even years after Epstein's passing, new comment from someone who lived right next door reopen old wounds and spark fresh curiosity. Rumors suggest there could be more to the story than what's been shared publicly so far, with online communities dissecting every clip and statement for clues. Reports claim various administrations have reviewed materials without uncovering a definitive client list or blackmail archive, but moments like Lutnick's interview make people question if the full truth has emerged. It's the kind of topic that blends documented events with enough gray areas to keep conversations alive across platforms. Kennedy's grilling served as a reminder that oversight matters, especially when it involves high-stakes figures and sensitive investigations. By connecting the phone records concerns with the Epstein comments, he created a through line about power, privacy, and the need for real answers. Bondi found herself navigating careful responses, balancing legal limits with the public's demand for clarity. In the end, the hearing didn't resolve everything, but it highlighted cracks in the story that many feel deserve closer looks. As more details potentially come forward, whether through voluntary interviews or compelled testimony, the Epstein case continues to challenge assumptions about elite circles and justice. Lutnick's evolution from bold claims to more measured reflections adds another layer, showing how quickly narratives can shift under scrutiny. Fans and critics alike are watching to see if this leads to meaningful progress or another round of stalled momentum. The senator's direct approach resonated because it cut past talking points and focused on practical questions anyone can understand. This moment in the hearing captured something larger about trust in government processes. When a cabinet secretary speaks out based on personal experience and it collides with official memos, it naturally raises eyebrows and invites deeper digging. Speculation about hidden videos, influential protections, and incomplete probes persists, framed by what we know and what remains unconfirmed. Kennedy asked sure those questions stayed front and center, pushing for a commitment to follow through no matter where it leads. Ultimately, stories like this endure because they touch on fundamental issues of accountability and openness. The public reaction to Kennedy's questions and Lutnick's remarks shows a widespread desire for resolution after years of partial revelations. As investigations and hearings move forward, the hope is that clearer pictures emerge, reducing the space for rumors while addressing real concerns.